Hey guys, I'm making this video so you guys can see how to make money on Bitcoin, Litecoin, on GDAX. And I want to start off by saying that this is a very risky market, and it depends on what time you enter the market, right? So this is Coinbase. This is GDAX. GDAX is owned by Coinbase, if you haven't known. And right now, Bitcoin is at this price, about 14,000, and it started at about $800 at the very beginning of last year, right? So we had a huge increase. Now, uh, it, we are here, right? So when putting money into Bitcoin or Litecoin, you have to realize that the past um, won't really help you, right? You are kind of entering late in the game, and it's very dangerous now, right? So let's analyze the past a little bit, right? And let's learn a thing or two from it. So the price has been going up pretty fairly. Now there are some peaks and then drops, and then the like let's say here, there's like a small peak there, right? And then what people do is realize they made about 30% from, let's say, April 29th to whatever this date is, or 40%, and then they say, hey, I'm not greedy, I'm gonna take my money out and sell it. And what happens is the price drops, a few people do that, and then they realize it's not dropping, so they purchase more coins for the same amount. And over time they begin to realize that, hey, look, this is steadily going up. Yeah, it's going down a little bit. A few people will sell here, panic, right? But it's nothing really major is going on. So over time it actually goes up. People put in money, random people from the street. They realize that this is going up, and um, not skyrocketing, right? Just generally over time it's going up, and they have a lot of faith in it. So if a person from the street realizes that there's a hopeful product out there that will bring them money at whatever time they buy in, they'll put in money. And if the public thinks that way, then the price is going to go up, because the price of a Bitcoin is determined by how many um, coins are actually bought, right, out of the cap. That means the first coin is going to be worth much less than the last coin, because the first coin, no one bought the first coin yet, so it's the cheapest. And the last coin, well, people have to fight over it, right? So as you can see here, this, I'd say from here all the way to here, from to 19,000, this is dangerous because people are hopping in at the bandwagon way too late in the game, right? And to think that this is gonna go up, even here, right? This is dangerous. But once you get to here, you should not put in any money, because everyone is just waiting for the slightest tip, slightest drop to sell. Because these people that have coins right here are most likely people that have purchased it right here or before. Um, so at this point, it can go up, yes, but it's also important to realize that this date is December 18th, 2017, and if you have been paying attention to the news, Bitcoin futures were allowed to be placed into the market by big banks. And also the next day, Goldman Sachs came into the market. Now, if I don't know why people were happy to hear this, Whenever a big institution comes in into a product that is valued way too high, which Bitcoin is, um, it's dangerous because Wall Street has the power to drop the price, which is what happened here. They put futures and it's they can essentially say that the price is gonna drop and place bets on it that it drops. They get like some amount of money in return. And seeing as it's highly overvalued, any reasonable person placing a bet would make a bet that would say the price is gonna drop. Give me some money if I win on the bet. Instead, the public was very happy, and they kept on buying, 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 and then um, a few Bitcoin whales or a few people with a lot of Bitcoins sold, and then I say, a few hours after that happened, once it dropped to 17,000, uh, people were panic selling, right? And then they panic sold to about actually 11,000, and then it went up really quickly because people bought at 11,000. But it did not. Once people bought at the drop, which is what you should do, right? They thought it was going to go up all the way back to 19,000, right? But it didn't. And that's because people lost faith. And this market is determined by people who have faith in the coin, right? They don't care about the technology behind it. In fact, if they did care about the technology behind it, they would not invest in more. Because Bitcoin is very slow compared to Litecoin. Litecoin should be at 14,000. Bitcoin should be at $237, right? So yeah, this thing is gonna keep dropping. Uh, Now it might go up to, and it might go up to say 17K and then drop, or it could just drop altogether. It's just overvalued, and people are losing faith in it. And the holders, they'll keep holding until they break. That's It can go to zero. It'll bounce back up to, I don't know, 4K, 9K, whatever it is, but it's not gonna stay at this number because it's way too high. And Wall Street is involved now, right? Before this December 18th date, Wall Street was not in the picture. Now it is. And once Wall Street's in the picture, the game is totally different. It's now against your favor. Before there was no competition. Everyone's making money. Everyone's happy, right? So, plus, when people are making decisions, most people are not making heavy calculations. They're just saying, oh, it looks like it's going to go up. They use MACD. And they say, yeah, look, let's see what's going to happen, right? It's probably going to keep going up. Maybe it'll drop. But hey, like everyone's driven by human emotions. They're just holding, right? Holding is an emotion. And that's not correct. But Wall Street has valuation models, risk management tools, and that will cause the coin to drop. So let's now see what's happening on GDAX, right? As you can see, this was the peak at 19.8K. It dropped all the way to 11.5K actually, and then it went back up. And at this point, people thought it was, look, it's fine. The whatever reason was given to the public, they believed in it, and they just kept on going as if nothing happened. But this event is actually very important because the Bitcoin whales sold a huge portion of their market. About 25% it tanked. That's a huge, or at least 25%. That is a huge tank. That's a significant loss in the faith in the coin. And people can't realize that. Some people do, and that's why it didn't go up. Whoever this institution was, or set of people was, right here, that missing gap, they did not rebuy. And later on, at this point here, you would think that it would keep going up like that. You just like pretend like nothing happened. But people aren't stupid. People are skeptical now. Before they were hopeful and faithful, now they are skeptical. They're trying to, maybe Wall Street here or someone is trying to manipulate the market a little bit, see what's going to happen, stir some growth, and hoping and people put in money. But that failed. And it's gonna keep happening, and over time it's just gonna drop and drop and drop. The only way this is gonna go up if people put in money, and people aren't gonna put money up if they don't feel hopeful. And holding is not enough. Holding is once you have it at the beginning, you hold. You can't buy in here into a corrupt market, which is corrupt now, after December 19th, and expect the price to go up. Now it can go up. Wall Street could put in a lot of money and fool everyone, but that's a big risk on their end. And I bet you not a lot of people from the street now are just gonna put all of their savings as they were doing into before to make this go up. So I expect this to drop. So it's very hard to make money now. Now I want people to make money, but in order for people to make money, other people have to lose money, right? So my best tip is to make wise decisions. The holding thing does not work anymore, and people think it does, but it doesn't. It's a motion driven game. You cannot be driven by emotion here. Now what you can do is buy low, sell high, right? But you have to see a pattern in advance, like let's see here, price was at 13.8k, went up to 14.8k, so that's a 1/14 ratio increase. Now you can predict a low buy and a high sell, and you can make 1 out of 14% on top of what you put in. So that's about, I don't know, say 7%. Maybe I'm wrong. So if you put in 2k, you will get $140 between how long is this? Let's say 6 hours. You'll make $140 in 6 hours if you do this correctly. Now you will not do this correctly most of the time because you have to time this perfectly. If you time it perfectly with market orders and market sells, then you will lose because you have lose out on a fee that you have to pay. And chances are, when you're buying here and you're selling here, your limit orders won't go through because they're going to be too small enough for GDEX to prioritize them, right? So if you get lucky, at most you can make it 7% here. Realistically, yeah, it can shoot up, but like realistically, 7%. So, and you can repeat this process, wait for the dip, buy let's say 10% above the minimum dip, right? You say you realize from here that it's gonna drop a maximum of 10%, so you buy at a 7% drop even though you can't buy at 10% drop, right? Just for safety. So you're actually making even less then, but you can repeat this cycle. You just have to wait a couple of days before anything to see what happens to the market, because right now it's in a very unstable situation. So if you actually want to make money off of Bitcoin and Litecoin, you have to wait a few days or a few hours, at least like 3 to 6 hours, when you're buying low and selling high. It's not going to appear every 30 minutes as it did before. So that's just something to watch out for. And this also applies to Litecoin. Similar graphs. Now, in my opinion, it's not worth buying into Bitcoin or Litecoin at this point. We have to see what the market is going to tell us because the risk is too high. I predict that it's going to drop, but who cares about my prediction, right? There's a XRP Ripple. And Ripple is actually worth looking at because it keeps going up after rapid increases, which are much greater than 7%, as in Litecoin or Bitcoin. So maybe it's worth buying at the drop right here, right? Maybe it is. So, but don't look into other tiny cryptocurrencies because those are either scams or can fail. And the 1% that don't fail rise up, but then how lucky do you want to be? How sure do you want to be of your gain? Think XRP is your best option right now to look into, right? And then buy at the dip and keep buying and selling at the top. It's very easy to predict it. Um, that's at the 5-minute interval, but you can, I'm not sure if you can see, oops, 1-day interval. In a 1-month interval, it goes up and then it drops a little bit, but it doesn't, it looks like it keeps repeating this process. So this is something to look at if I were you. Not Litecoin or Bitcoin, because this looks like a dying market. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and become successful in the cryptocurrency market.